But when people try to argue that she's not the face of our league, or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're literally dumb as fuck.
Finally, someone who gets it. Finally, someone in the WNBA who understands this thing called business.
Hey, Sophie. If they didn't like you then, they sure aren't going to like you now.
Today, we've got a story that has WNBA fans talking everywhere. New comments from Sophie Cunningham have sparked intense debate online, with many fans believing she revealed details about how Caitlin Clark has been treated around the league. Now, without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into today's video. Alright, what if I told you that a role player who nobody anticipated revealed one of the WNBA's greatest secrets? Because Sophie Cunningham wasn't just a teammate supporting a rookie when she intervened to defend Caitlin Clark. It was the spark that ignited the biggest untruth in the league. And the fire continues to burn. This was not your typical bird. This wasn't a highlight that went viral. The system was directly challenged by this. Is Caitlin Clark being targeted? Fans have been asking for months. The league responds that it is not. It's merely rookie hazing. According to players, critics refer to it as a conspiracy. However, Sophie Cunningham threw that hit after saying, "Fuck it." She wasn't only responding, she was disclosing. Exposing the private discussions taking on in locker areas. Exposing the jealous undercurrent that has been simmering beneath the surface. Exposing a league that has been making money off of Clark's notoriety while quietly allowing her to be beaten every night. Suddenly, everyone in the audience was thinking the same thing. What if the fans were correct all along? The league has been using the same PR strategy for months. This is just typical novice treatment with nothing to see. Everybody experiences this.
Jealousy of Caitlin Clark was the topic of conversation. Sophie Cunningham was criticizing those who refused to acknowledge that Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA.
Cunningham letting it all out and not holding back one bit. She calls out the old guard. She calls out the people out there who refuse to say Caitlin Clark is the face of the league.
They said that Caitlin Clark was only going through what many rising stars go through. It's nothing personal. It's just a matter of gaining respect in the W with a bit more physicality and tougher defense. And you were called a casual, a bigot, or worse, a conspiracy theorist if you tried to question it. The message was quite clear. This is typical. Clark is doing well. Give up overreacting. Here's the issue though. Supporters weren't blind. They witnessed it firsthand. Harsh fouls that were not called. The whistle is followed by shvees. Veterans are making a special effort to disrupt Clark's routine, and the league never once intervened to express its disapproval. The justifications accumulated each week. She must become more resilient. It's not just she who is being hit. She simply isn't accustomed to the physicality. Then Sophie Cunningham appeared though. She accomplished what the league had been refusing to do for months in less than 60 seconds. Be honest. She verified the bias, the patterns, and the whispers. She revealed the actual discussions taking on behind closed doors, and she completely destroyed the story of rookie hazing. Love, this wasn't difficult. This campaign was well planned. The receipts were in Sophie's possession. Sophie Cunningham was the kind of player the league adored before to June 17, 2025. Sturdy, dependable, and silent. She didn't make any waves, showed up, played hard, and kept her head down. She was a classic role model with a decent following. Roughly 350,000 on Instagram and 200,000 on TikTok. Just enough to be relevant, but not enough to be regarded as the league's face. Let's face it, nobody saw her as a disruptor, even if the majority of casual fans might have known her name and possibly even seen a few of her three-pointers on highlight reels. In the W, she was simply another grinder. She was respected among her teammates. Although the media hardly gave her any attention, coaches trusted her. She didn't have a shoe deal. She wasn't in commercials. She wasn't on ESPN panels. And she most surely wasn't receiving headlines for anything other than basketball. Sophie was dependable. She wasn't a problem or a star, just a component of the system. And perhaps that's precisely why her eruption was so powerful. No one anticipated it. Fans weren't anticipating anything out of the ordinary when they watched the Connecticut Sun game. Another tough game for Clark with a hard screen, a couple elbows, and possibly a brawl. Yes, that had become the norm. However, they were unprepared for the modest role player who had spent years going unnoticed to suddenly take center stage in the basketball world because Sophie lighted the fuse instead of just committing a hard foul when she intervened. Furthermore, the blast zone extended well beyond the court. The subsequent events were not contrived. It wasn't public relations. It wasn't a planned publicity stunt. It was unprocessed. It was genuine. After witnessing the same narrative repeatedly for months or even years, one woman eventually lost it. And everything changed the instant she took action. Sophie Cunningham moved from being a basketball background figure to a full-fledged cultural superstar in just 48 hours. June 17th appeared to be simply another game in the regular season. Connecticut Sun versus Indiana Fever. Another evening when Caitlin Clark would take the court, bear the burden of a whole league's attention, and suffer the kind of physical pain that had become her new normal. But something didn't feel right from the first few minutes. Not only was Clark being vigorously defended, they were pursuing her. Shiz that arrived well after the whistle, elbows following passes, and shoulders into screens. This type of behavior is uncommon unless there is animosity or a target painted on someone's back, and the officials remained silent throughout. Clark was clearly shaken after receiving a poke from JCS Sheldon. She was irritated, wincing, and even scratching her eye. Earlier that week, Marina Maber had pushed her to the ground. It was Sheldon's turn now. Once more, the referees simply shrugged and play continued without a call or warning. Something broke for Sophie Cunningham as she watched it happen in real time from the bench. She subsequently referred to it as a time of last-minute, unwanted thoughts. One of those instincts from the gut that take precedence over all other considerations, strategy, outcome, and reputation. Her words, not ours, were, "Fuck it." She witnessed what was going on, saw the officials doing nothing, and saw Clark standing there by himself. Sophie sprang into action at that moment. She stormed the floor and committed a severe physical foul, one that left no opportunity for misunderstanding. It wasn't a basketball play. It conveyed a message. For the first time, someone used their chest to express their displeasure. The referees sounded the whistle. Sophie was kicked out.